We're down a Miss B again.
Well, you were down a Slack 2 weeks before that, so... I mean, the only one that's consistent at this place is you.
Seemingly so. Anyway, hello and welcome back to another episode of the unofficial Minecraft Update podcast, as we'll get into later. Slack. What a week it's been. And I don't know why I'm saying that. It's not really been much of a week. How's your week been?
No, it's been a week. Remember, they tried to cut my head off last week?
Yeah, well, that was last week. Well, that's old news, Slack. What's the new news? How is your neck?
It's infected.
Oh, great. Can we not have good news for a week? Oh, yeah, okay. It's great. I've been out. Sun's shining.
It's sun shining today. It's about 100 degrees out. It's beautiful. I've done been to town running and getting paperwork, working on the visa stuff. Within 7 to 10 days, we should have everything we need to potentially do the actual apply. Like we took the steps. We've got the lawyer. We know what papers to get. 7 to 10 days, we should have all the papers, and then the ball going to be going. Aside from that, Minecraft has been good. It's been quiet. What about you?
Well, I noticed you've been doing a couple of YouTube streams. How have they been going?
They are interesting. Shut phone. They're interesting. I would say that I'm liking them. The biggest thing that I like about the YouTube streams at this moment in time is it's new people. Don't get me wrong. I see a lot of the same people that I see from Twitch over there, but a lot of new people from YouTube like, oh, that's Slack. Oh, that's what you look like. Oh, never mind. But I've been enjoying it because let's face it, with Twitch, you got all the add-ons and everything else. You got the blurbs, you got this, you got that. You can pretty much get any add-on that you want out there for it. But with YouTube, there's none of that. So it's just you in the game and chat, more or less. And it kind of feels like what it felt like the first few weeks that I streamed. And I'm loving it. It's different.
It is.
It's definitely different. Like the other day, I was live for like 5 minutes before I figured out that I was on a private video, It's like, good job.
Yeah, they don't make it easy to go live on YouTube, do they? It's still not an easy process, as I found out several times this week for me. If you want anything else you want to talk about before I jump into the woes of YouTube streaming.
No, I'll let you jump into the woes of YouTube. If I got anything to add, I'll add it to it.
Oh, geez. So you've probably heard me go on 1,000 times about how it really irritates me that I want to set up my YouTube stream. The reason is, like, I don't have to set up a Twitch stream. Twitch is easy. You log in your Twitch dashboard and it's like, okay, you can change the title, description and whatever you're going to be doing when you go live, and it just saves it for the next time you happen to go live. And all you got to do is press go live from OBS or whatever software you're using, and Twitch is like, oh, you're live now, and we'll tell everyone, which is great. And it's just twitch.tv/FoxyNoTail or whatever the username is. There's no unique URL. There's no getting it wrong. There's no going to the wrong one. YouTube, oh man. So I've got a separate OBS set up just for YouTube streaming. And for whatever reason, when I tried to go live for the first time this week, it would let me manage, like, set up a stream, because it's like, oh, do you want to manage this broadcast, which you have to do before you go live. And every time I clicked OK, sent out ping to everybody that I was live, but then ran an error and said you can't connect. And I'm like, oh, goodness sake. So I had like 5 pings going out to everyone across my Discord, TB Discord and YouTube, each one with a different URL for me going live. And eventually I had to just sign out of that altogether, sign back in using just my stream key, and then go in through the YouTube thing where you click the go live button just to edit what you're going to do in the future. So while I was streaming, eventually everybody managed to find the right one. But while I was streaming, they were saying, oh, do you know you've got 5 streams queued up that are all planned on being started now? And I'm like, no. And I looked in my YouTube studio, and there they were, scheduled streams starting now, FoxyNoTail. And why is it so difficult? Why can't they you press go live on your OBS or why can't you at least change your titles and your descriptions and your thumbnails without it telling everyone you're going live?
Now, see, as far as thumbnail goes, I've never really messed with that. I just use the generic whatever I got in YouTube, which is like my SlackLizard logo. But I can do that. I can literally click continue to log in with Stream Elements, log in, and click go live. And right here on this, it'll be like put in your title, your description, any links you want, and go live. And it'll send it out to Discord. My problem was I actually went live through the YouTube dashboard, because I needed to edit the latency settings.
Yeah, or any settings you would need to edit.
Yeah, well, from what I've been told, because I talked to a guy named Brew who streams over there quite often, that once you set them once, you don't have to reset them.
No, you don't.
So now, from what I understand from him, now, if I want to go live with OBS, I can update my title and everything, still use the same URL and everything every time.
No, you can't use the same URL. It's every single time you go live, it gives you a brand new URL. So you can't share it. You can't share anywhere on your social media or manually. You can't go, hey, if you want to catch one of my live streams, go to this URL. You have to tell them to go to your YouTube channel and then find the stream. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. And that's great for you because you're using Stream Elements. I'm not using that. I don't want to use that because I'm trying to do things as manually as possible and simply as possible to make it easier. And I don't have, because Stream Elements has always got an update to do, and there's always something that needs updating. So I've really reduced everything down to a really basic OBS setup. And the fact that because of that, that doesn't work, and I have to go into YouTube and click go live just to edit the title, description, and thumbnail of the stream that I don't want to do for another half an hour because I want to sort that out, get ready for my stream and go live. So now I have to hit the go live button, panic to get all of that done whilst making a cup of tea and a coffee and getting sorted. It drives me nuts. It's not easy. It's very stressful going live on YouTube.
I'll tell you something that could help with going live on YouTube is if you had 2 video settings, one for streams, one for YouTube videos. And what I'm talking about is descriptions. Like if it's saved, like by default, when I went to go live the other day, I noticed that it was like, oh, let's put in your default description, which is basically just a generic episode of TB description and then all my links under it. I wish I had the option to be like, I want this one or this one. I can do that with Stream Elements. I can be like, I want to use one of these 5 descriptions, and it's like boom, 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 instantly. But I can't do that with the YouTube dashboard, and it's just like,
no. It does remember the one that you did last time, but I want a unique title and I want a unique description. I want to type in there what I'm going to be doing to entice people to actually bother joining the stream, rather than it just being generic, truly bedrock, and then all my links underneath. So, yeah, I think YouTube streaming, I do really enjoy it. My chat goes crazy. There's a lot more people talking on it if I stream earlier because I'm getting all the people from India and the Philippines and stuff like that joining in, which is a huge portion of my channel now, which is great. They're all asking questions. It's really engaging. I just wish they could just make it a little bit easier and less stressful going live. I don't want to start my live stream stressed. I want to start it relaxed and chilled out and ready to go. So
well, let's look at it this way. At least it is getting better and getting improvements. I mean, just what, the 11th, they now started where people can gift out channel memberships to other people.
Yeah, Mao, that's great. But I think there's still a massive disparity between the expectation of somebody streaming on Twitch and the expectation of somebody streaming on YouTube. Basically, you know as well as I do, the Twitch community is a much more mature streaming community, and I don't mean like they're all older. I just mean like they get streaming, so they expect, well, a lot of them do, that if they want to support their favorite streamer, that they're going to either cheer or sub or do something in order to help out. Whereas YouTube, it's very much expectant that this is all for me. I don't need to do anything. I'm just sitting here to watch, like you do watching any YouTube content, which means I find personally there's a lot less people looking to do things like super chats or, joining your channel memberships because it's just not expected. So the fact that they've added this, I think, will help, but I think it's going to take a long time to change that sort of that community viewpoint for, oh yeah, I can help this streamer out. And that's, part of the thing that this is the to and fro of streaming, is that we're all involved, not just the streamer. And I think that will get better in time. But, I mean, it sounds like really expectant of me to want people to just support me through streams. But that's kind of how Twitch works, That's why we stream on Twitch.
I would agree. But I would also say maybe it's audience. Your channel's bigger and everything else like that, okay? But from my YouTube streams right now, I wouldn't say I'm getting exactly the same revenue. I wouldn't say I'm getting exactly the same revenue, but I am generating revenue on my YouTube streams equivalent to my Twitch.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm not. No, the reason I like it's not really to do with revenue, is the fact that this is this week we're talking about YouTube streaming. It gives me a lot of views on my live streams, which helps out bringing people to my channel in general, and it helps in terms of just like ad revenue and stuff once the stream's finished, which is nice because it's got all my FoxyNoTail Minecraft content in one place, which I really like. So in terms of channel growth, it's fantastic compared to Twitch. But well, good. I'm glad you're seeing another financial benefit to it as well. So yeah, that'll come in time, I guess, for me at some point maybe. But anyway, that's not what it's all about. It's about bringing people together, growing the channel, and just growing FoxyNoTail as a whole for me. That's my plan at the moment, at least. Anyway,
and that's a good plan. But yeah, YouTube. I've been enjoying the streams, and YouTube has been pushing them just like a video. I don't get it, and I'm not going to complain about it.
No, exactly. Don't complain because they'll change it, and I don't want them to change it because then I'll just have to go back to Twitch. Right, anyway, moving on. The rest of my week, this week on Truly Bedrock, spent a lot of time doing YouTube and Twitch streams building a new shop/game thing called a needle in a haystack, which I built on the top of Chaos Hill, basically a floating island with a giant haystack on it made of many, 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 many hay bales. And inside there's over 200 shulker boxes full of all my stuff. Basically, I built a randomizing machine that took all of the junk that was laying around. Well, not just junk. It's got all of my pretty much prized possessions as well. Everything I had in the shulker box that wasn't sorted went through this machine, got jumbled up, randomized into 200 shulker boxes, and it's all available now for a diamond each. But within all of those 200, there are 9 shulker boxes that contain really good prizes like beacons and lots of diamonds and ancient debris and all that sort of stuff. So the idea is you go in there, you pay a diamond and you break a shulker box, and well, you either get a box full of junk or you get a box full of really good stuff. So yeah, I've really enjoyed building that. It's been a big build to do over a couple of days, and I've really enjoyed just streaming the whole process, which has been fantastic. So I have done a video on that, so that's going to be coming out this weekend for me. And the other thing I've been doing this week, Slack, as you know, is that we made the Minecraft Update Discord. We've finally got an actual Discord for this thing now, with the link will be in the description below if you want to join that, where everybody can actually put like feedback questions and stuff and discuss the podcast directly without having to go to mine or Slack's or Jessie's Discord, which is great. And I put a feedback form on the MinecraftUpdate.com website, which we bought, and you can leave feedback through that, so you don't need to leave us an email anymore. So it's all moving forward, the Minecraft Update stuff at the moment, which is nice. How do you feel about all that sort of stuff?
I'm enjoying it. I mean, that last email that you were talking about, how something that we have to discuss is going to be interesting, but I think progress is moving good-ish.
Yeah,
42.
I think it is. I'm really happy with how things are going. But yeah, we'll get to that final question at the final end of the final questions. But right now, it's not time for questions. It's time for feedback. And if you want to leave us feedback, then there's a whole host of places to do it now. You can leave us an email at news@theminecraftupdate.com. You can go to theminecraftupdate.com and leave us some feedback on the feedback form, or you can join the Minecraft Update Discord and leave us feedback there. From now on, though, I'm probably, unless we're really lacking in feedback, unlikely to be picking it out from the YouTube comments and our other Discords, but I will still keep going, obviously, through the emails and the new Discord. Anyway, getting into the feedback, the first one's from Rusty Shackleford. Of course it is. Oh, jeez. I don't think they're saying anything bad to us this week, so it's not it's not a big problem.
Let me. How many feedbacks do we got? Okay, we got
a lot of feedback. Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, I get to read some today.
Yeah, I've given you a lot, Slack, because you moaned about it last week, so I'll give you loads. I think the warden could use some balancing. If you do everything right, you won't encounter it, and the experience is quite peaceful. If you make a wrong step, it means certain death. To me, it seems more one-sided than it has to be. There needs to be a way to defend against this beast. I quite like that black and white sort of nature of the warden. If the warden spawns, you better run. And I like that because it encourages you to not make a mistake. If it was middle ground, it would just be like all the other mobs in Minecraft and a bit boring, really. I like the fact that this is unique and interesting. What do you think, Slack?
No, I mean, it's just like going from end island to end island. You start bridging out when you don't have your Elytra and you go to throw a pearl. Guess what? You hit the side of it. There's no saving it. You're done. Yeah, you can use slow falling and fall slowly to your death, but you're still dead. You know?
Unless you've got another ender pearl and are good at throwing them, which I never have and I'm not. So,
so yeah, the black and white, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, you think it's too easy, but all it takes is one little drift of the mouse, one little misclick, and run. Yeah, good talk. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Right. Next.
Melkor Kildad? Is that how you say that one? That one's a
I think so.
Name. I think so. The reference to the Echo Shards meaning the Minecraft devs do a secret lore for development. So I'm sure, there's some meaning that we'll never know because they don't want a lore to affect creativity. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think it's quite common knowledge now that Mojang do hide some hidden lore for all of the things they add to Minecraft behind closed doors that they don't like to share with us for that reason. And I'm sure the Echo Shard does have some sort of meaning among that lore, but I don't know if it's just a good point. Yeah, well done pointing it out. There's not much you can say because we don't know, do we? No, sorry, Melko Kilded. It's a nice piece of feedback, but I just don't know where to go with that one. Anyway, yeah. Spondic D says, "Hi all, hope you're well. Player damage has definitely changed. 3 hits from a Hoglin and I was dead. That was with full netherite armor enchanted with protection. Talking of armor, the unable to remove chestplate bug seems to have made a comeback. Oh, jeez, have you noticed that, Slack?"
Not the unable to move a chestplate, but the damage changes are just... We've been so... I guess you would say lucky with Bedrock that we really haven't had to deal with damage. You could literally just wear iron and not worry about it. It's been stepped up in this update, and I like that. You know, me and you, we've talked about this several times. I always wanted the game to be harder, and it feels like with this, like I'm almost literally afraid to play on TB right now because I was going for this whole deathless season, and now like every time I even do something wrong, like a creeper takes me down half my health, I clip a wall and I'm down to 2 hearts. You know, it's just... everything hits a lot harder. It's definitely been a change that I've noticed.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't really done a great deal of stuff with mobs, but flying around, I'm still splatting against walls and not finding it too much of a problem. So maybe it's the armor I'm wearing, or maybe I'm just lucky, I don't know. But I'm wondering if the remove chestplate bug is maybe the wearing Curse of Binding?
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't heard nothing about that one, because I typically, when I'm in the nether, you've seen it just the other day, I keep my chest plate on my hotbar and my elytra on my hotbar, or one of them on my back, one of them on my hotbar, because we can quick switch. And like I'll run around in my chest plate, but if I end up in lava, I immediately put on my elytra to fly out. So I haven't had no issue with it.
No. Oh, good. Right. Jared.
With a congratulations, Slack, but with your medical history, wouldn't it be better for you to move to the UK? I mean, going into a little bit of a personal detail here, we discussed this in great detail on where we want to live. And as far as what we want, the U.S. seems to offer us the most out of the options. We're going to have to deal with the medical over here. It's not going to be the same as over there. Over there, it's a universal, and it's rather nice. Another thing to note is we're going to try for dual citizenship. We're going to start over here, but who says in 10 years we'll still live over here? We don't know. We don't know. But as of right now, the short-term plan and the easiest for everything for us to start our life together is the way that we're going about it. Me coming over there is nothing like her coming to America. It's a totally different system. It's a totally different thing. I have to live over there for years before I can apply to become a citizen in the UK. It's nothing like America with the way you get over there. Even if I went over there with the intention to marry her, I have to be over there for so long before we even can. Like, we can apply for a visa over here, and if it gets granted and everything like that, which it should, there should be no reason it shouldn't. When she comes over here, we can get married, and then she can get a green card and become a citizen pretty much instantly, as long as you got the money for it. Coming over there, I can get a visa to come over there to get engaged with a non-settlement, or I can get it with a settlement agreement. And it's just, it's a lot more complicated. It's nowhere near as easy. I don't know if you've ever looked into it, Foxy, or anyone else. It's nowhere near as easy.
No, fortunately for me, I actually live here, so I don't need to apply, which is nice. So as a result, I've never really looked into it, but I do know people that have like got together with people from abroad, and they've wanted to move to the UK and gone, oh, this is hard.
It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder. But I'll tell you this: if she tomorrow just said, "I want to live in the UK instead," I'd be like, okay, well, let's go for it.
Yeah, fair dues. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least, you know, potentially in the future, once you have been together a few years, if you do get dual citizenship, and you know you're more likely to have more medical problems when you're older, then you can maybe think about moving. Right. Anyway, Crania Rainquest says, I think a lot of people forget that Microsoft/Mojang bundles the two versions for PC every couple of years. I bought Java for my son about 5 years ago, and he was 12 at the time and is 17 now. They dropped that bundle for a couple of years, and then it was back and gone again, just to bring it back this year. So it seems like it's just a marketing ploy they pull out of the hat every couple of years to pull new users into the world. Thanks, Rainquest. This is in response to the feedback we got last week about Minecraft dropping Java and Bedrock together for the same, or not the same price, but like buy one get one free, effectively. So yeah, it's definitely been an on and off thing, and I think you're probably right. We did we speculated quite harshly in the last podcast as to our thinking on it, but it's probably more innocent than that. Gee,
no, I would agree with that. I think it's a ploy to bring in new users. I mean, it's like when I started Farm of the Week. I haven't done them for a few weeks, but I'm about to get back on the ball of that. But the whole concept of that is my channel is constantly going to evolve and constantly going to grow. A tutorial I put out 3 years ago, somebody who just joined my channel may not know about. They may not know that you can build this type of farm. So if I can improve upon the way that the farm is delivered, the type of content that was delivered into it, or the mechanics of it, why do I deny myself the ability to put back out that farm if I can improve upon it? So that's no different than them every couple of years going, hey, y'all know you can buy this and get both of these together. Oh, just a random thought there. Random thought.
Well, there you go.
Next, we got Bennett Walsby. When keep inventory is on, you keep your XP levels. If that's a change, that's been within the last few years, because it used to not do that.
I have no idea if that's true or not. I am going to take it that it is if they've said that. But again, this is in reference to Slack and I talking about the idea of having a pack that basically, when you died, put you into what was it? No, turned on keep inventory and basically silently killed you in order to respawn you back. Oh, no, it was a teleport home thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
You made with command blocks a while ago, and we were saying it's great, but you'd lose your XP levels. And they're saying...
I know for a fact that you did lose your XP levels when I made the system. Now, we're talking about before truly Bedrock. Okay, so that's 3 or 4... That's almost 4 years ago now?
It could be that they play on Java and it's different on Bedrock. It could be one of those things, but it's definitely something to check out.
Yeah. I'll be interested to check that out.
Yeah. JJ says, hey y'all, JJ here. If Jessie thinks end raiding is easy, she needs to try it on stream in 1.18.31 so I can watch and laugh. I went end raiding with full netherite protection for etc, etc. I popped 5 totems before I even had a stack of shells. Crazy times. Keep up the good work. Cheers, JJ. Sadly, obviously, Jessie not here, but I'm not looking forward to end raiding with these improved damage things. I'm going to put that out there because I normally do die, but yeah, I spend a lot of time near death in the end.
I'll tell you, I have no need to go end raiding now that we got shulker farms, aside from maybe like our classic day one, we need gear, let's go loot some cities because
we still need Elytra.
Yeah, that's true. Huh. Well, I mean, you just need one. As long as you don't die, you don't have no issue.
You need one. I need a box full.
Potato, tomato, Foxy, potato, tomato.
Yeah. So you go and raid in for 5 minutes, get yourself some Elytra, and I'll spend a week there going back to get all my stuff. Right.
Brick under 1990. Eating and mining underwater is ridiculous now. Also, I second the shulker problem. They will teleport onto storage things, iron bars, fences. I had one the width of a trap door. Thrar? No. Oh, what?
No, that's the next one. Sorry. Sorry, okay, I haven't put a space there for you. There you go. That's from Rick.
I struggle with these things.
I know.
Jeez.
There's a lot of stuff to add in the form today, and I had to get it from many, many different places. Give me a break, Slack. While you were asleep.
What would you like? Finger, arm, toe? What would you like to have broke?
Wow. Gee. So yeah, Shulker's Sport teleporting onto strange things. I haven't seen that myself, but then again, I haven't been playing with any Shulkers, so I'm sure that makes Shulker farming probably a bit easier if they'll teleport to trapdoors, will it not?
You would think. You'd be like, oh, I know that if I have only this trapdoor in here, this is where it's definitely going to go.
Yeah. So, and like, I'm just thinking if it's a vertical trapdoor, because I think one of the issues with, I don't know, because I've never made a shulker farm, but I imagine one of the issues with shulker farming is collecting the items, because you'd need hopper minecarts underneath the full blocks, whereas if it was just all trapdoors or signs or something that they could teleport to, then the items are just going to fall down into... You'll still need a hopper minecart to pick them up, I guess. But, or they could just go into hoppers, maybe. I don't know. So,
I haven't
not
looked
necessarily
into it
a bad thing, but I'm sure it'll get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Tra says, hi to the team. Been a while since I sent anything, so I thought I'd just say welcome back, Slack, assume he's in fact back this week, and reaffirm how much I enjoy listening to the pod. Can't wait to hear what's in store for this episode. Keep up the great work. Cheers, Tra. Now, Tra has actually sent us about 14 different things this week, so they've definitely made up for not sending anything last week. That's good. We've got something to look forward to.
Trar. Okay, well, moving on from Trar, we got Mike here with hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie. Jessie's here? Oh, wait, never mind. Anyways, great having the three of you back together. Well, it's like they do this every time, don't they?
Yeah, every time we're not back together.
Great having the three of you back together. You have an amazing chemistry, Slack and Jessiie. Foxy is sorry for getting the time wrong yet again. Just an assumption. No, we got it right today. Just saying. Slack, congratulations on your engagement. So happy for you and the support you have from the community. Thank you very much. And last is just a suggestion. I struggled with that word today. In the last podcast, you said that you have a new email address, but couldn't find a link. Maybe a link from your website to the new Addy would help. Keep up the amazing work. So entertaining. Good talk, email. Good talk. That's my line.
Well, Slack, I might be wrong here, but I put the email in the show notes, which is like you can link to that from any podcast service. It's in the YouTube description, which is below the video if you're watching it on YouTube. It's on the website. It's in the Discord.
Preposterous.
It's on my website. The email address is literally everywhere. If you couldn't find it, then I would suggest you put your glasses on, young man, and you try harder. Did you consider asking Google? No, it's not always easy to find stuff like that, especially when there's a lot of other links and things going on. But I'm pretty sure it was there. If it's not, I'll double check this week and make sure it goes out into all of the things as it should. Jeez.
Maybe they should have checked their glasses. Maybe they needed to clean them. You seen I cleaned mine just a minute ago. Maybe I should make a tutorial on how to clean your glasses.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Oh, what a brilliant idea. I really, my glasses, you can wear them, right? And you don't touch them. They're just sat on your face. And all of a sudden you can't see. And you're like, what? And you take them off and there's smudges all over and like on the inside. And you're thinking, how? How is there smudges on the inside of my glasses? I don't understand where this is coming from. And you put them back, you give them a rub on the bottom of your t-shirt, put them back on, and you've just made it worse. Oh, it's a nightmare. So yeah, glasses cleaning tutorial, please.
T-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What do you use?
You're done. You're done. Once you ever use your shirt, you're done. Yeah, you're done. No, you want to use microfiber for as long as possible. You ever use your shirt, you're done, because it scrapes off the protective layer you get when they're brand new.
Ah, well. There we go. That's why mine just get worse and worse and worse.
Just buy new ones.
Yeah, just buy new. Well, when I'm doing so well with my YouTube live streams like I am, Slack, I can afford many, many pairs of glasses.
I almost spit my coffee out. Not cool.
Sorry. Guyver5681 says, regarding Minecraft providing both Java and Bedrock via one purchase, I think Microsoft is trying to push everyone to Bedrock. As a software developer myself, it's essentially wasted developer time having to code the same features to access across both code bases, especially when their major moneymaker is Bedrock and the marketplace. Along these lines, I think they're doing this the wrong way. Content creators can easily acquire or already have Bedrock Edition. I think many choose not to use it because it's not in parity with Java, and the add-on APIs are light years behind the Java modding community's ability to literally modify the entire code base. Mojang needs to change their focus to making Bedrock the same or better than Java in all aspects, or the community isn't going to buy in. Now, I agree with that, but I also don't agree with the fact that the modding stuff, modded Java is light years ahead of what Bedrock could do, as long as you know how to mod. Exactly. Modding, it requires, you've got to understand how to actually write code. You've got to understand the game files. You've got to break the game files apart in order to add the stuff in you're doing. Modding Java is really hard. I wouldn't even want to try that, and I do quite a lot of developy stuff. Whereas add-ons, they're dead simple because you don't have to write any code. It's all already there. You're just changing bits. And I mean, if you get really good at it, you can do some stuff with code, but you really don't need to in order to do quite substantial stuff with the game. So yes and no on that one. There definitely needs to be more work going on with add-ons. But yeah, I agree. If they want to make for Bedrock the focus, they do need to make it better and not just the sort of the poorly younger brother.
Yeah, I would totally agree. From a content creator's side, it makes sense. From a business side, it makes sense because let's face it, they get the one-time sale from Java. Bedrock is going to be their moneymaker. Now, I think it has to be a slow change, and I think we've seen a slow change because every now and again they force out a big quick change, and like there's resistance. Yeah. The only time that it really, really annoyed me, them promoting Bedrock, is when they blatantly ignored the Bedrock players and they pushed out RTX to all these big Java players. Oh, we'll give you this graphics card if you play on Bedrock. And like all these big Minecrafters for Java got these beautiful RTX cards that all of us had to pay for. And all they had to do was more or less just play the game once on Bedrock and then be like, yeah, no, I'm never going back. It's like, oh, thanks. Yeah. What about us? Yeah.
Yeah, but then they are much bigger content creators than us. If we had the following they had, I'm sure they would have reached out. But yeah, you're right. It is very, very one-sided towards the Java Edition creators, or at least it seemingly seems to be. Right, that is the end of this week's feedback section. If you want to leave us feedback, then send an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com. Put feedback in the description. Now, in the subject even, speaking of Slack, maybe they didn't have the news at the minecraftupdate.com email address in the docs, which it was, but I do say it about 20 times a podcast. So, you know, if you've got a pen or a phone that you can write notes on, you could have written it down, just saying.
I mean, or, you know, maybe they toned you out and just they didn't hear you and they're here for me.
Tuned me out. That's what that's why they needed the email address. They wanted to write some nasty email. With this podcast rubbish, as soon as you started talking, I fell asleep. Right, anyway, the news this week. We got a bit of news, but it's a bit lacking because we are getting so close to the release of 1.19 byte now, seemingly at least by the very, very short changelogs for both the new Java Snapshot and the new beta/preview for Minecraft Bedrock Edition, both of which were a day late because Mojang had an unrelated event this week, which seemed to get everybody in a tiz, and that's what I'm going to touch on first. So, Sliced Lime, who is a content creator and Java Edition developer, put a tweet out saying, "Heads up, we're aiming to have this week's snapshot out on Thursday rather than Wednesday, since the team is busy with an unrelated event on Wednesday." And then everybody went crazy. The entire internet exploded, and then when Jeb, obviously like the big Mojang dude, came along and put a couple of eyes in the in the reply to this tweet, it just set everybody off. Everybody was going crazy, and that really seemed to upset Slice Lime, who then put out more replies to these tweets going, "We can do stuff that's not included in all this sort of stuff. Stop it. Stop speculating on what's going on." Basically, I'm paraphrasing here. But then Cornerhard jumped in with a response going, "It'll be revealed at some point, but it might be a while." So obviously fueling the fire that something exciting is going on over at Mojang. One thing to take from that, which sort of ties in with what we just said in the feedback a minute ago, is notice he didn't mention anything about the Bedrock or previews being delayed. It was all, Java Snapshot's going to be delayed. What we do Bedrock as well? I didn't realise. So,
yeah, some people don't realize that because I don't think they work on that code. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So what do you think? Well, they were up to, Slack.
42.
So I responded to this. It was actually IBX Toycat put a tweet going, "Oh, it's really exciting, this, that, and the other. I can't wait to find out what it is." And I just responded to this in a very like tongue-in-cheek way, saying, "I don't think it's that exciting. I think it's one of these reasons." And the reasons were basically Jeb's retirement bash, bowling alley 2 for 1, fire alarm, like what's it called? We have to do the scheduled fire alarm testing, moving offices, and just daft stuff like that. So who knows what it is? But apparently Cornerhard says it's going to be revealed at some point, but it might be a while. So who knows? Now, the other thing it could have been is obviously the pre-recording for Minecraft Live, which is obviously, I think, is pre-recorded. Everyone else seems to think it's live, but I'm convinced it's pre-recorded. So you never know. It's
pre-recorded yet. Mm-hmm.
Right, moving on from that, we've got another tweet from the very prolific Twitterer King B Dogs, who was a little bit frustrated at the fact that a lot of the player base seems to be telling him that the Deep Dark and the Warden is not new features because they've been around so long. So he went on a bit of a Twitter ranty thread himself, saying, or starting with, in inverted commas, Warden, Deep Dark and Ancient Cities don't count as new content because they were planned for 1.18. When we announced the Deep Dark and Warden, the plan was much smaller than what we have in 1.19. Since 1.18, we've been making it bigger. The differences are worth noting. Originally, there were no ancient cities. There were only small abandoned cabins. There was no unique loot. No music disc 5. The Warden itself was going to be much simpler in its AI and would not have done a good job at providing stealth gameplay with no sonic attack. Skulk spreading would be as simple as a random patch no matter what sort of mob died nearby, and it would be instantaneous with no unique mechanics around the charge and XP conversion. Shulk Screakers wouldn't exist, and instead Wardens would randomly spawn while in the Deep Dark. Skulk sensors wouldn't have any of their unique mechanics around vibration frequencies. Wardens wouldn't have any unique animations for its complex behaviour. In fact, it wouldn't have emerged from the ground at all. My point being, I don't think players would have very much enjoyed the Warden and the Deep Dark if we'd released it in the scope of what we had planned in 1.18. In my opinion, it was very much worth pushing it to 1.19 to do it properly with a bigger scope and more content. I would say that it absolutely does count as new content, considering how much these features have changed since 1.18. Regardless of that, anything that wasn't previously accessible counts as new content. And you've got to agree with him. I mean, it's not been released into the stable release yet, so it can't technically be an old feature. But I get the sort of, I get the feeling that obviously from the player base, we've known about it a long time. And I did point out to Keep Beeb Dogs after making that in a reply that it was actually planned for 1.17 and not 1.18, which does take it back another 6 months from there. But that's just me nitpicking. I'm really happy that we've actually been so involved and been able to see this development process from so early on for such a long time. It's been really interesting from my point of view, but then I enjoy that sort of thing. For players that probably don't, that are just desperate to have these new features, I can understand it's probably a little bit frustrating and it kind of feels a little bit like old news. What do you think, Slack?
Well, when I was sitting there reading that, and he was like, originally there was no ancient cities, there were only the little abandoned cabins, and you just kept reading, and I'm like, this sounds like the normal disparity between Bedrock and Java is the only thing I could think. So did it take longer just because they were like, oh, Java's getting all these pretty things and Bedrock's getting nothing. Let's get some time to get Bedrock some of these features for a change. But
maybe. I think that's a very negative way of looking at this, Slang. My goodness me.
Well, you know me, potato, tomato. Sometimes I'm negative, sometimes I'm positive, but I'm positively negative all the time. But I think it's new content. I think it's new content because it's just not in the game. And like, as much as we do the Minecraft update here, and as much as we talk about betas and we talk about snapshots and we talk about all these things, I don't consider none of these things important until they make it again. Everybody, oh, fireflies, fire what? Fire what? What's that?
Oh, I didn't add that in the news, Slack. Good point. Jeez, a whole news piece that I've completely missed out of today's podcast. We'll talk about that next before I go into the snapshots then. Jeez, thank you, Slack. Mojang officially announced via a video on their YouTube channel that the birch forests are definitely not coming to 1.19 and fireflies are also definitely not coming to 1.19 along with bundles as well. Now, they did say that fireflies is still something that they're thinking about. It's gone onto their ideas board for potentially being introduced in the future if they can make it work and make it fit. Similarly with bundles, they want to bring those in, but they're struggling with how to get people to work with them in touch controls, because the idea with the bundle is you can hover over it and see what's inside, but obviously you can't hover over things with a touch controller. So that makes that very difficult. The birch forests, they said that we basically, during the original Minecraft Live event, they showed some concept art of the birch forest while talking about, in fact, it was Agnes who was saying, we want, wild means two things to us. It means beautiful, like, ambience and biome diversity, and it means, like, scary stuff in the deep dark. And then she went on to talk about how they wanted birch forests to have more ambience and higher trees and sun hitting the floor and stuff like that. And on the video, they basically said, that the development just didn't continue with it. So I get the feeling that they did start development on Birch Forests, but then for whatever reason decided they didn't want to go down that route and gave up on the idea, which is fine because as they've said a million times before, and as they say every year, the stuff we see at Minecraft Live are not promises. They're not guarantees. They're just sharing with us the exciting things that they've got ideas to add to the game. And a lot of that gets cancelled because of player feedback, they're not interested, or just time constraints, or just they try to add things in that don't work. And sometimes it just doesn't fit with their plans, or sometimes they come up with the next idea what they're going to do with Minecraft next time, and they go, well, that will be better in that one. But they don't share all of that with us, because if they did that, then they really would be like stuck making promises and guarantees, and then they're going to be really stuck when we start holding them accountable. But the player base seems to hold them accountable for these things that they've demonstrated, but not said these are coming, but we're, and they made a big point of that. And do you remember that, Slack? They made such a big point of that in the last Minecraft Live, because the year before when they were talking about 1.17 and 1.18, obviously they did make a lot of promises and they had to break a lot of that. And they split Caves and Cliffs in two and it was a big disaster. So last year they were really like hot on saying, this isn't guaranteed. This is just what we're thinking about,
Well, I mean, the fact that the game is over a decade old at this point and it's still getting updates, I absolutely love. Now, we were talking about this here a while back. I mean, here's a prime example. You put out a video on the horns, and they totally changed how that's going to work. As a matter of fact, they did away with the ones that you were showcasing in your video. I don't mind that changes happen, and I for one of them am of the understanding that, or of the belief that I don't get too overly hyped until it makes it into official release. Case in point, Fireflies. Case in point, the horns. I'm sure there's other cases in point for this. But yeah, I just totally lost my train of thought. I was jotting down notes while you were talking there, and I was like, you were talking about changes to 1.19 and how you wanted they wanted the wild update to be majestic, and then like the logo itself includes the deep dark, and it just took me back to King B Dog's tweet there that it's not new. It is new because it's literally part of the logo.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's part of the Wild Update logo, and you want to try to argue that it's not new there. I'm sorry, but it is, And then, of course, you were talking about features that get taken out, and of course, I jotted mobs with a question mark. Is that in part of our article today? I don't remember us talking about that.
No. Which mobs are you thinking of?
I'm pretty sure I read one of your articles this week where they were talking about previous voted mobs are getting put in the game or something. What was it?
Yeah. Another piece of news that I completely forgotten about. Thank you, Slack. I should probably check my own news. I've been writing news and I've completely forgotten what I've written. Jeez, bear with me a second while I go to FoxyNoTail.com/Minecraft news and check what I've actually written. The Minecraft mob vote losers may be added to Minecraft in future. So this was basically Jeb it was just a reply to another tweet that somebody asked him about the Minecraft mobs. Will they ever come to Minecraft? And he was like, oh, well, what's his exact quote? I'm sure I must have written it in here somewhere. Agnes and the team have said that they will add the losing mobs if and when they fit and can be prioritized, which I thought was a big deal because they originally said at the first Minecraft Live, which was actually Minecraft Earth 2017, when they had the mob vote for the Phantom and the other stuff in that one, they said that absolutely categorically, whatever doesn't make it in, that goes in the bin. We're not going to ever deal with it again, because they were literally just concept drawings. They'd gone no further than that. There was no development, there was no textures, there was no 3D models or anything like that. That's all they got. And they basically said, whatever you don't choose, we're not even going to think about again. And then, obviously, we got news that wildfire mob, the Blaze King or whatever it was called, ended up in Minecraft Dungeons recently. And then Jen's put this out, and that just changed everything from my perspective, because I'd always believed from that anything that didn't get through, it was never going to come in. And now he's going, well, if it fits, then maybe so. So let's take the Birch Forests again, for instance. Perhaps the reason they stopped developing on that is because they're thinking, well, we might have another update in the future where we're going to bring the Moo Bloom in, which came with a flower, and add a bunch of flowers, and maybe we'll have a bountiful update or a beautiful update or something like that. And the Birch Forest might fit better with that, and the Fireflies might fit better with that, So, yeah, it doesn't say they are coming, but it did say they can, and I thought that was a really important thing to be aware of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with that. That's why I was like, wait a minute, you didn't smack the Foxy. I'm doing the documents. Okay, good job, Foxy.
Hey, you. I've got a lot going on. Writing all this Minecraft news and forgetting about it. Jeez.
Oh, jeez. You forget that you done discussed it 6 times this week, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's old news to me now because I've already written it and read it. It's not.
But it's not news to other people out there.
Okay. What other news have I written in here? Minecraft shaders are back for Bedrock. Did we discuss that last week? I don't think we did.
I think we might have touched on it at the end there, so it's probably one of those things worth mentioning if people missed it. Or it might have been after it was over.
We did, because the podcast was called Minecraft Shaders Are Back, so we definitely covered that one. The Warden, I think I've covered everything else that I've written news on. So, yeah. Anyway.
The Fireflies.
My goodness me. The Fireflies, that was, I think we discussed that before. Yeah, they just basically said frogs frogs are allergic to them, so we don't want to put them in the game unless we can find a better way of doing it. Speaking of, Rotated Owlface, one of my Discord moderators, actually decided, hey, you know the flower that emits particles?
Mm-hmm.
What if you retextured the particles for those to be like little mini fireflies and then just made them like luminescent, like the glow squid? And he made it and he put it out on Twitter and it looked amazing. He just put one of those at a swamp and all of a sudden there was these glowing fireflies in the dark. It was gorgeous. And it was particle effect, so no entities, no lag. Amazing.
Yeah, that's how I thought they would have done it to begin with. Like had a firefly nest that was just on a tree, and it was like the spore blossom. That's I didn't know that they did that. But when you said they were an entity, what was it, like 4 or 5 podcasts ago? And I was like, no, that's the stupidest thing ever. You've got something in the game that does it already.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just press a button. Press the button. Fireflies, press the button.
Copy, paste. Change a couple codes. Here you go.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Right. Anyway, Fireflies aside, it's time to talk about the Snapshot. The Java Edition Snapshot, which is 22W19A, which only came out about an hour before we started recording this podcast. So I don't know a lot about it. I have skimmed through it. And to be honest, it didn't take very long because there's very little in it. There's some stuff changed with the chat preview that you can now apply to servers, which is great, I guess. I'm just reading through it now. It doesn't make a great... because we're not Java players, it just goes over my head. I was like, what does that mean? I don't know. The new locate structure command that they came out with last week, which allowed them to place all of these crazy structures, they've now added they had place structure, the place command. They've changed the locate command to locate structure. And they've also got locate biome is now locate biome with a space in it. And they've added locate point of interest or locate POI. So they've got a lot more ways on Java Edition now of actually finding stuff in the world, which is really nice for them. No, it's great. I really hope we get some of this stuff coming over to Bedrock at some point because I think that's really important, not just for... for technical players and map makers and things like that, but also when you're trying to plan out a server and stuff like that, it's really useful being able to have things like that, especially if you're like on a truly Bedrock SMP and you're working on a world and you're like, well, where's the closest witch hut? I want to do a witch hut, but I don't want to spend the next 10 episodes just wandering around looking for one. If you could just download the copy of the world to Creative and run one of those commands, it'd make life so much easier. And I know chunk base exists, but chunk base is, let's be honest, it's not very good, is it? That tiny little window they've got. Sorry, Slack.
I'm reading the next thing on the snapshot, and it's just making me... The place command can now be to place templates at a given location. If you read more about this, they're basically getting structure blocks.
Yeah, well, they've already got it. So, so the place thing that they had, the place template... Oh, no, place template, that's a whole new command, is it?
Let's take something unique to Bedrock, and let's give it to them, too. Yep.
Okay, right, moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on, there's nothing else in Java Edition. There's hardly anything at all. There's absolutely nothing in terms of the new features that have been changed, like the alley and the mangrove and all that sort of stuff. There's a load of bug fixes for frogs and skulk sensors, and players cannot jump off the edge of blocks when sneaking if they have a block above, and there's just stuff like that. There's nothing particularly exciting in there. Yeah, but there's loads of bug fixes. So it's just one of those, hey, I bet there'll be a pre-release next week. I'd be amazed if there isn't a what's it called? Release candidate.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting to that point. The last couple snapshots and betas have done absolutely nothing. Speaking of the snapshot and beta, you said the beta came out today too?
Yeah, so at the same time, pretty much, the Minecraft beta and preview 1.19.0.32 and 1.19.0.33 respectively, unless you're on Xbox, when it's 1.19.0.66, because of course it is. It makes perfect sense. Right, yeah, this also has almost absolutely nothing. It does say at the top the Minecraft beta on Windows will be retiring soon. To continue testing out pre-release features, you'll need to install the Minecraft preview, which we knew about. That's not new news this month. They're getting rid of it. So next month we'll only have the preview to get all of this information from, which is fine.
That means you can get out of the beta, right?
Well, I hope so. That would be nice.
Away with it.
Do you know what? The day I can actually download the stable release of Minecraft on any of my accounts, I don't think I want to play Minecraft anymore. I think I go back to Java Edition.
Yeah,
The LA, they've done another temporary fix, like they did with the mud blocks, where they made it actually not go into mud because the actual solution for fixing it's too hard. And they're basically saying the LA for now doesn't teleport with its owner to the Nether because the LAs would sometimes get teleported inside blocks and suffocate when going into the new dimension. So the LA is not going to follow you into the Nether now, which I think is a good thing, because you don't want it going in there anyway, because it would just end up in lava or dying, because their pathfinding is atrocious. So yeah, they're probably better off safe in the overworld. Blocks. Non-generated Skulk Shriekers now have a cooldown between activations, just like their generated counterparts. Skulk Shriekers and Skulk Sensors do not drop XP anymore when mined with Silk Touch. Increased the time required to destroy reinforced deep slate and made it independent by the use tool to better match Java Edition. Doesn't say to match it exactly though, it just says like better match. Does that mean
close,
they've sort of done it? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it works a bit.
Yeah. Horseshoe, it's close. Yeah.
Yeah. It says Skull cannot spread through fire and soul fire anymore,
Makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. The mangrove swamp trees can now properly generate at negative Y coordinates. So if you grow in mangrove trees underground, you'll be able to do that properly now. And then they've fixed a couple of graphical corruption issues on Android, and they've fixed an issue that could cause severe visual glitches when using emotes more than once. But, you know, no one will ever notice that, because who uses emotes? Wow. Movement. Actors using movement prediction will once again teleport smoothly. Now, I'm really hoping, although I don't think it will be, but I'm really hoping that this affects, you know how like my mini box and mob heads, if you try and move them around, they sort of wait a bit and shake and then they move eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that fixes that. And I'm also hoping this fixes like things in the background that are further away just bouncing up and down and up into the sky. But I'm not convinced it will. But
Camera accounts. I mean, no.
No, it's not going to fix that. No, don't be ridiculous. Like. Stability and performance. They've improved game performance on certain Android devices. They don't say which ones. And they've fixed a crash that could occur when attempting to render blocks that rely on biome data. And in the user interface, shift-clicking items will once again combine items of the same type into a stack. Unfortunately, they still haven't added the ability to shift-click everything out of your inventory of the same type. That would be nice, please. Can we have that, bruh?
Please? Yes, yeah, bruh.
Yeah. And they've added settings to change the duration of notifications. Oh my goodness. Is that notifications like, hey, come and join the marketplace? Or is this that when you hover over your shulker box that's got slightly like two things in it and it takes a week to leave your screen?
Or when you accidentally scroll while you're doing something and suddenly your name pickaxe stays on screen for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So I've actually got in my FoxyNoTail resource pack, I've actually like done that anyway, just to get rid of all that rubbish off the screen. But if that's actually something we can change, that would be amazing. Technical updates. Blocks. They fixed behavior of command blocks when cloning another command block onto self, where cloned command block would not execute its command until a red zone signal is toggled. Slack. It's exciting, isn't it?
That sounds like how it was to begin with, but okay.
Yeah, and they've done one thing with the game test framework this week as well, which is unusual because normally the list's a mile long for that. So, yeah, that is it. However, another piece of news, which I haven't put in the news Slack, which is very much related to this week's thing, is from a tweet from somebody who I need to find now on Twitter because I didn't write it down. It was from...
Good job. Mm-hmm.
I believe, I'm just going to try and find their profile now very, very, very quickly. Alexander Torstling says, what do you Bedrock players think of the changelogs lately for betas and previews? Me and others have been trying to up our game a bit in that department. Badgerisi was always better than me. I'm trying to follow his lead now. And, well, I have to say that I can't see that there've been any improvement over the last few changelogs because they're still incredibly lacking in the information that we get, especially compared to Java Edition. And then, like, you know, case in point that we just said a second ago, adding settings to change duration and notifications doesn't really give us anything. Fixed graphical corruption issues on Android. And no, where was the one? There we go. Improved game performance on certain Android devices. Well, which ones? You know, there's information there that's quite useful that we don't have. And the point I made to them in the reply on Twitter was that in last week's Minecraft beta, it said that, well, either the last week's or the one before, it said we've got new music, and that's all it said. Whereas Java was like, hey, we've got all of these new music tracks, and it listed the tracks and said what they were about. And I'm like, oh, there's such a big difference there. Why can't they just copy and paste that from that one? Because it's the same stuff. So, yeah, I think personally still a lot of work needs doing on the beta changelogs because they're so lacking.
Yeah, I would agree. And of course, that's literally why you made a tool here on the website, you know, just put that out there.
Exactly. That is exactly why. And I mean, if they was to go to that and see all of the things that have changed that they haven't bothered to write in the changelog, they might notice that the beta preview changelogs are a little bit lacking. But I guess they're probably not using that. Right, Slack. Unless you've got anything else to say, that is the end of today's news.
Foxy, we're only an hour in.
Don't worry about it. It's going to be a nice, quick, easy edit for me. Although the question section is 4 miles long, so maybe not.
And didn't you say our friend Thrar did a bunch of questions?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Jeez. Right, moving on. What's bugging you? We're going into the bug date. For me, what's bugging me this week is as part of my needle in the haystack shop, which is a big old haystack, in order to try and mob spawn it. Because I'm smart, you see, and I think about these things. I didn't want creepers spawning up there and then going inside and blowing up all of those 200 sugar boxes. I covered the entire thing in string, Slack. I had two options. I would either set the entire thing on fire, because we got no fire tick and it would look like a big old bonfire, but I didn't want it to look like a bonfire. I wanted it to look like a haystack. So I covered it in string, which, of course, doesn't stop mob spawning, Slack.
No, I could have told you that from... Season 1, the trying to spawn proof mushrooms. Yeah. I could have saved you some time on that one.
It should though, shouldn't it? That's a bug, isn't it?
It should. Yeah, it should. At one point it did for a while and then it quit. But the kick is, I think you can put the string on the block, but I think they still spawn in the northwest corner. So if it's the northwest corner is like exposed to air on that corner, they'll still spawn there even with the string there.
Wow. Jeez. Okay, well, that's annoying. So, yeah, well, that was a complete... It was like a good few stacks of string as well that it cost me to do it. And I kept, like, skeletons were spawning. I'm like, where are these coming from? And I go back up and, oh, yeah, okay, I've missed a spot there, and I've missed a spot there, and I've missed a spot there. Go back down again. Another skeleton spawn. Where are you coming from? Go back up. Oh, I missed a spot there. And eventually I was going up and I'm not missing spots and just absolutely convinced, yes, they are spawning on string, which is really annoying. Right, have you got anything for the bug date, Slack? Because no one else did.
No one else did. Well, I hit up my right-hand man, T-Man. I was like, hey, is there any bugs worth noting? And he gave me one for MCPE 131325, which, let me open this up so I can see what it was. It was talking about how rain and snow sometimes does not visually match up with the actual weather. And I've noticed that one's getting a lot worse. A lot worse. Like you log into a world and it's like, it's raining. And then you see somebody streaming on that world and it's not raining. You leave the game, you rejoin the game, it's still raining. You shut down the game, you come back into the game, it's still raining. The only way that I can get it to go away is to go into a brand new world or another world, go in creative, make it rain, turn it clear, and then I can go back to the regular world I was just on and it's no longer raining. And apparently you can do that on any world too. So I can go into a world, make it rain, go on to TB and it'll be raining even if it wasn't raining. And apparently there's like big client desync to it where you can still like use Riptide tridents and everything in it, even though it's not raining.
What? That makes no sense. I mean, I knew that was a thing, but I didn't know it was as bad as that you could go into another world, change the weather. Oh, my goodness. Jeez. Speaking of weather, is it just me, or, I mean, this is the issue, but TB is permanently having a thunderstorm. Constantly.
That
I
could
sleep
be part
almost
of it.
every night. And
That could be part of it.
Drives me nuts. Jeez. Right.
Well, it's like the it doesn't reset phantoms neither, which is that's just annoying.
Yeah, I noticed that. I slept and I was just about to go to bed again the next night, and a phantom swooped down and just bit me as I was getting into bed. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't remember when they changed it, but they changed it. You've actually got to lay down in the bed, and you know how your character slowly puts his head down and the screen gets dark?
Yeah.
You got to wait till it goes completely dark, or it doesn't reset the phantoms.
Oh, great. So my one-player sleep is not helping anyone at the moment then. Jeez.
No.
Fantastic. Well, we could put a timer on it, but I won't because I'm lazy. Speaking of being lazy, Slack, no, it's nothing to do with it. I tried to do a segue again and it failed miserably. We're going into the questions. If you've got a question for us that you want to ask and you want us to talk about on the podcast, then please send us an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com and put question in your subject line. Or you could use our handy new feedback form, which you can click that you want to send a question and write it in, and it comes directly to us, which is fancy and fantastic. Going into the questions, Slack, you got the first one.
I got the first one from Bat Lantern. That's an interesting name, Bat Lantern. Bat Lantern. What do you think would be another way for communication in Minecraft other than the chat?
Copper goat horns.
Huh?
Copper goat horns.
Oh, dear God. Let's do signal fire next. Wait, we can't render it from that far away.
Yeah. Bacons.
No, can't render that from that far away neither.
Bow and arrow.
No.
If I hit you with harming, it means I'm cross. If I hit you with healing, it means hello.
No, that's just not going to work.
Discord. Discord's pretty useful.
You know what would be nice is an in-game voice chat.
Would it?
Sometimes yes and no. Yes and no. It'd be nice if it was something that was a toggleable feature.
Yeah, the thing is, right, and this is my thoughts on that, because I've seen, obviously, videos, particularly hermitcraft, when they've got that proximity voice thing on, and everyone thinks it's a fantastic idea, and they all want it because someone else has got it and they don't have it. And I just thought that would be really annoying, because, like, if you're recording and somebody starts having a conversation in the chat, then...
There's the point, though. Recording. Not everybody records, Foxy.
No. I'm talking about me specifically here.
Okay.
So if I'm recording and someone's just having a conversation in the chat, in the normal chat, it's really annoying. And then you go to mute chat, but you feel awful and you're potentially missing stuff. If someone's asking you a question, you don't see it. So you feel bad for turning off chat. So you go, oh, okay, I'll just record this clip in a couple of minutes when they finish the conversation. If it was just game-wide voice chat, you're going to be listening to everyone and the mother talking about what they've had for tea all day when you're trying to record. I don't like the idea of that at all. And again, you would feel guilty turning it off in case the people are trying to talk. Oh, Foxy's in, so I'll talk to him. Unless, I guess, you had an icon next to your name like you got on Discord that you're muted or you're deafened or something so you can't hear it. If they had that for the chat in-game, that would be great. If you've muted chat and it came up when someone tried to chat, oh, Foxy's not listening to chat, then you wouldn't feel so bad, but you do. And I think the same thing goes for the voice thing. So, yeah, I don't want that in-game, personally.
I don't want it for the content creator side of it. But for the regular player, I could see where it'd be useful. I don't think we would ever use it, because here's the biggest issue we would have with it. We wouldn't be able to separate game audio from in-game audio from in-game voice audio.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Yeah, no. And like, well, if you play on Xbox, you've got Xbox Live Chat. That's already a thing. Same thing on PlayStation. Sadly, Switch doesn't have any voice communication, as far as I'm aware, in Minecraft. And PC, we've got Discord, we've got Skype, we've got 1,001 different ways to talk. TeamSpeak.
Let's cancel this idea right now. It makes sense that there's no other communication other than text chat. Can you imagine compatibility issues? No, we can't give you this update because we can't, we can't figure out the code to get the Fireflies to work on the Android because they use a mic. Nope. Just ban it right now. Never bring it back up again. Don't ever send in another piece of feedback like that or question like Bat Lantern. No, bad, shame. Where's my bell? No, moving on.
Told you just didn't think it through. Jeez. Yeah, Crafty Red Dragon says, hi, guys, and Jessiie B, of course, obviously. I think it's okay to say guys and feel that you're encompassing everybody these days. I don't think it's a masculine thing anymore. So don't feel bad for putting, hey, guys, think you're singling Jessiie out or like pushing her to one side. I'm pretty sure she gets it. Yep. Love the podcast and really enjoy how upfront and honest you guys are about the game. Not Jessiie there, though. Jeez. I was wondering what your thoughts were on it. I was wondering what your thoughts were on achievements parity going forward. My question comes about as my hubby has a family realm set up with achievements. We've done this so us parents can help out our kids get some of the harder achievements in game together, and it helps to teach teamwork, etc. Although, to be honest, I think it's more the kids helping the parents get the achievements. Anyway, it makes me a little frustrated as we would like to add a few of the awesome packs Foxy makes for Bedrock to help us on the realm, but it means we can't get achievements and we have to turn on cheats, unlike Java. Do you think this can ever be fixed or changed so we can enable cheats and still get achievements? Keep up the amazing work. Can't wait to hear your thoughts, Crafty Red Dragon. Slack, I'll let you begin this one.
No, I don't think you'll ever get that, where you can have the ability to turn on cheats and still get achievements. I mean, they did make the change where it still keeps track of our stats now, but the achievement system that they implemented, it originally came from Xbox Live, if I remember correctly. And it was originally going to be a form of currency. You do this in the game and you'll be able to do this and you'll be able to do that. And it just became so easily manipulated. And they get really touchy about you messing with that. They will ban accounts really quick over that. Their achievement system is something prideful. But you know what, Foxy? I remember a time before achievements. I remember I played the original Fable like 15 times through, and that was before there was any type of achievement ever. The achievement system, I've lost the hype in it, and I've lost it probably 10, 15 years ago, to be fair, is what it feels like. It felt like a way to keep people coming back to try to play the game more and in a different style.
Slack. My PC's just completely frozen up.
Okay, yep. All right. I will stop my recording.
This means I probably have lost both the OBS and my audio. I can still see everything, but it's completely frozen. I can't alt and tab escape. I can't do anything. So I don't know what the best thing to do is other than hit the reset button on my PC.
Recording.
Well, Slack, I'm sorry if I've just cut you off mid-sentence there. For the viewers at home, we nearly didn't have a podcast today. For I think the first time ever, my PC had a hard crash right in the middle of a podcast. Now, I don't think it's ever had a hard crash before in the whole time that I've had it, apart from when I've been fiddling with things. So that was a bit of a shock. And because I'm the one that makes the backup recording as well, the backup recording obviously was wiped. So what we do, we've got Audacity recording our individual audio tracks. I've got OBS open recording my audio, and then Jessiie and Slack's combined when they're both here, just so we've got a backup in case anything goes wrong. And my computer crashed.
It might be worth considering getting Craig in here in the future too.
Yeah, maybe. So the good news is, obviously, Audacity, I didn't know it, but made a full recovery backup, which was absolutely fantastic. So we've got that, which is amazing. But OBS,
you lost the OBS one.
This is a lesson to learn. If you record your video as an MKV file in OBS, then if it crashes, it's recoverable because there's no you can just join it back into it again. The problem with recording as an MKV file is you've normally got to edit it before you can put it in your video editing programs, because a lot of video editing programs don't like MKV files. Yep. I always save as an MOV file. So when I went to find the OBS file, it was not there. It was just a 0 kilobytes file, which is really disappointing. But yeah, fortunately, we found the the secret backups for Audacity, and it was there. But geez, that was yeah.
And in the future now, everybody records a backup copy just in case.
Yeah, so Slack's recording the backup copy. I'm recording the backup copy. Jessie's not recording the backup copy, but because she's not here. But hopefully in future she will be. So in the future, less heart attacks. Jeez.
Oh yeah. I was in the middle of reading a reply or saying my side of I guess we're going to redo the one that we just did. Foxy had read the question, I was just sitting here just explaining what I thought about it, and then all of a sudden, like, it sounded like Foxy was talking from the bathroom.
Yeah, so I could still hear Slack in my headphones, but all of my screens just went completely blank, and my keyboard was unresponsive. So I was like, I was saying to Slack, Slack, and he obviously couldn't hear me because it wasn't transmitting anything, so I had to join through quickly on my phone through Discord. Excuse me, Slack.
Hello? Yeah. Are you in the other room? What?
Yeah. Jeez. Oh, right. Okay. So you were replying to Crafty Red Dragon, who was talking about how achievements and add-ons mess about with achievements. I don't know what you were saying because I was panicking that my computer had died. So
do you think you should read the question again, or you think you're going to have a fun editing process?
No, we got it. It's fine. You just jump into it. It'll be all right.
Okay. Well, as far as do I ever think it will be fixed in quotations where you can enable cheats and get achievements, I'm going to say no. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Microsoft is a bit touchy about their achievement system. I mean, they originally were introducing it. If I remember correctly, it was going to be a form of currency. Oh, you get this feat done in the game, you get these points, and these points can be used to redeem in a store. But it became manipulatable really quick, and that system just got thrown out the window. And honestly, the achievement system, great as it is, I lost all interest in it years ago. Because I remember a time before the achievement system. Do you remember, Foxy, when like you would play the original Fable like 15 to 20 times and not worry about achievements?
No.
Oh. Huh.
I've never played Fable.
Did you play Mario?
Yeah.
Did you play it more than once?
Yeah.
Did you play it different each time?
No.
Oh. Well, what are your thoughts on this then?
Sorry, you lost me a bit with that one. The thing is, it's not broken. The difference between the problem is not that the add-ons break achievements. It is that the achievements are Xbox Live achievements, and they give you Xbox reward points, which are coveted Microsoft things that they don't like being fiddled with. So the reason you might think, well, this add-on doesn't do anything that helps me in this world. That's fine, but how do Mojang know that? They've no idea. They're not going to check every single add-on to see if it's going to affect your world in a way that allows you to cheat in survival. So it's just a blanket no. If you've got add-ons on, you don't get achievements. The thing is, though, you don't have to use add-ons on every world, and you can get achievements on every world, but it is global. So if you would just get the achievements on one world, you got them on all your worlds, which for me, I don't like. I'd rather they implemented the Java advancement system so I can get all of the achievements in every world I go into, and I can have the option to say, yeah, I want to get these advancements regardless of the fact that I got add-ons on, because this is my choice. Nothing to do with Microsoft and their reward point system or whatever it's called, or the G points or whatever it is. And I think that's the problem. Do I think it will happen? No. I think they're way too intertwined with it. I think they think it's a lot more important than it is. But clearly, you guys and people seem to really like getting Xbox Live achievements. So clearly it is a big deal. For me, I couldn't care less. I'm not bothered about achievements. I'm not bothered about points or reward points or whatever they're called on Xbox Live. So yeah, I'd just settle for advancements that give me nothing back. So
yeah, I would like advancements per world. That'd be nice.
Yeah, so sorry. I think it'd be great if we had that option, but it's just not going to happen because of the way it is, sadly. Maybe in the future, we'll see. But I don't. It's not broken, future, so it's not going to be fixed. Yeah. We'll just have to do something different. Right, moving on before my PC crashes again. Slack, jeez.
No, oh yeah. Thrar here with hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jesse. Womp, womp, womp. A couple of weeks ago, you were discussing the Deep Dark and the newly... Oh, they're on the Deep Dark again. And the newly introduced redstone circuit to be found there. Foxy in particular said he didn't like the idea of them being there, as the Deep Dark is a more in-game experience, and I would agree. I do like the idea of somehow showing more redstone contraptions to players, particularly new ones, and how they work. But I don't know where this could potentially be instead of the Deep Dark. What would you suggest to be a better location? Cheers, Thrar.
I know where, Slack. I know where.
Are you going to say YouTube?
No, I know where in game.
Oh, okay.
I've got the perfect place for it, and you're going to agree with me.
Okay, I'm interested.
Okay. Do you remember all those years ago when Minecraft Xbox Edition was made by 4J Studios?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had tutorial worlds.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, there you go.
Speaking of that, they've just celebrated 10-year anniversary. I don't know how they can celebrate a 10-year anniversary when they don't do it anymore, but they did. So that's nice. So
wait a minute. When did they celebrate that?
Like last week, this week,
or was it this Wednesday?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, maybe that was what Mojang were doing. No, I don't think it was Wednesday. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. But yeah. Anyway, so that's all we need is, instead of having that how to play stupid section in the settings that nobody ever sees or notices, let's just have tutorial worlds. And we can have a redstone
I think that's a great
world.
idea. I remember one of my first experiences on a console being a tutorial world.
Yeah. Yep. They were great. And I know we got like some of the old mashup packs from the original Xbox thing if you go to the marketplace, but it's not the same. I think a really nice redstone tutorial world would be fantastic, because you could really go into town there. You could have like a beginner section, intermediate section, you could have a future section, and it could be developed for each update when they change things as well, rather than it just being a selection of random assortment things copied from Java Edition that don't work on Bedrock Edition underneath the thing you're never going to see in the middle of nowhere where you're going to get killed a lot.
Do you need to breathe after that? That was a lot at once.
No, I don't ever need to breathe, Slack, because if I breathe, my computer will die. Plod, otherwise known as Plod, says, "Hey Foxy, Jessiie and Slack, sorry I've written a small book for you, but don't worry, it will only last a few chapters. My question is simple though. Have Mojang made the Warden and Deep Dark too complicated? This is inspired by Foxy's news article asking if they were worth waiting for. So blame Foxy for my book. You can't blame me for you writing 27 chapters of a piece of feedback. It takes up 2 pages.
It takes up 2 pages, Foxy.
Ah, jeez. Okay. The original concept of the Deep Dark, as introduced at Minecraft Live in 2020, was that you could stumble across it while caving without even realising you were there. If you didn't spot the clues, a bit of skulk and maybe a glimpse of the Warden's hut around a corner, the Deep Dark looked just like an ordinary cave. That made exploring caves more dangerous and exciting. Escaping from the Warden in a narrow cave with the difficult terrain underfoot would have been really challenging, instead of a huge, relatively flat ancient city. With ancient cities, they didn't just make the Deep Dark more complicated, but they made it easier to escape from the Warden and had to introduce even more complexity, the sonic boom attack, to compensate. Jeez. We're all familiar with the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Mojang have created an awful lot of work for themselves and ended up with something that has gone astray from the original purpose of adding a little bit more interest and jeopardy to the ordinary caves. Then they added the janky redstone, which became yet another thing they had to fix because it was broken when they first added it to Bedrock Edition previews. The amount of work they've done is certainly admirable, but was any of it actually necessary? Sometimes less is more. Ancient cities only make sense if the portal is really a portal, otherwise they are actually distracting from the original concepts of the Warden and the Deep Dark. What do you guys think? Have Mojang made the Warden and Deep Dark too complicated? Could they have introduced it sooner if they kept them simpler? Please keep up the good work. Plod. Slack.
I like keep it simple. You know, just sitting here listening to the explanation of the past of it, I think I would have liked the random hut better than the giant sprawling city.
Yeah, it depends on what's to come, if there is anything to come. If there is a new dimension, like they say, yeah, it kind of does make sense to have that area. I do think it's too flat. I think it needs to be more interesting, but I still like it. But I do think having just in the caves at the bottom of the world a chance to stumble across a Warden and a hut and some, just find something small and interesting could have been fun as well. Yeah, I do think they've made it a bit complicated, but I'm happy with where it's gone, and I'm looking forward to playing with it in 1.19.
I'm looking forward to experiencing it, and then I'm hoping at the end of the day it's a toggleable feature. I struggle with that word, sorry. Kind of like Phantoms and kind of like the Wandering Trader. Can we turn it off if it's not of very much interest?
I don't think we'll need to, because I don't think you're going to find yourself there all that often. Although on Bedrock Edition, the ancient cities are spawning in way too regularly, but hopefully they'll fix that as well. Right, moving on. Hakuzo, Slack.
Hakuzo says, greetings, three blocky amigos. What kind of things oh my God, what kind of things have you three done to expand and gain more followers? And how much of it is organic traffic versus active promoting? What are some tips to gain more followers without spending money or ads or scamming like affiliate links? I'll let you go first on this one.
The only time I've ever done active promoting was when I made my 2017 Xmas Wars Christmas special, because I was so proud of it. I wanted a lot of people to see it, but then people told me it was really spammy and annoying, so I stopped doing it. But that only brought in a couple of 100 views, and I don't think I got any subscribers from it. I think pretty much generally most of the traffic to my YouTube channel has been organic. I know I get some in from Discord, and I get some in from streaming, and I get some in from the website and stuff like that, and my add-ons, but I haven't paid for them. I haven't actively promoted it. I haven't gone putting my poster up on the wall, or adverts in magazines or on YouTube or on Google or anything, which you could do. You could run Google ads to get people to your videos if you wanted to, but I don't think there's the return. I think you'd end up spending more than you get back. I don't think there's, and if people want to find it, they're going to find it. Yeah.
Well, it's like, I know a particular YouTuber out there who bought followers, bought subs.
Yeah.
And it okay, whatever. At the end of the day, YouTube's going to do a purge, and eventually all those bought subs are going to be gone.
Yeah.
As far as self-promoting goes, I would advise you to self-promote. I think pretty much every Discord out there has a self-promoting channel, and I think most people have them muted. But the way you go about self-promoting, if you just post your link in someone's Discord or on some forum or, Reddit or something like that, and you don't engage, nobody's going to care and nobody's going to be interested. I used to, before Truly Bedrock, when I started getting into YouTube, I joined all these Discords. I joined Groova's. I joined Silence. I joined everybody's that I could think of. And if they had a self-promotion channel, I used it to my advantage. But I didn't just post and forget. I engaged with these people. I talked to these people. I became friends with these people. And that way, when I did post something, they'll be, oh, I was just talking to that guy yesterday, or I was just talking to that guy 30 minutes ago. Oh, he just put out a video. Maybe I'll click it. I think you get back what you put in. Granted, some people are going to get lucky. Some people are just going to get lucky and just put out a video and it just goes viral, But I think the vast majority of us are going to have to work for it. And I would honestly say organic traffic growth is going to be better than anything paid or anything else. One of the things I hate the most, you're going to laugh at this one, Foxy. I hate getting a big raid on Twitch.
Really?
I hate it with a passion.
Why?
And it's not that I don't like the people. I love the people coming there and everything else. It gives you this false sense of illusion that suddenly you're a lot higher up than you were.
I don't think so.
You're sitting there streaming to 100 people and everything's fine. All of a sudden you get hit with a raid and you're sitting there 900,000 people. Oh, you're good. Oh, this is a great stream. I'm loving it. Next stream you go live and for some reason you pull 70. What am I doing wrong? I had this the other day, and you look at your analytics and, oh yeah, everything's good. I'm doing good. Everything's going great. And then that big raid falls off your analytics. And suddenly your average drops from 200, 300 down to 50, 60. It gives you this false sense that you're doing better than you are. Are you going to gain natural growth out of that? Yes. But how many people come in on a raid, immediately follow, and you never see their name again? They follow. A few days later, they unfollow.
Well, that's true. But without that raid, you wouldn't have had a chance of any of them finding your stream. And those few followers that do come through, I mean, I can say that I've had a few through from Exuma and Pix that are still in my regular streams now that come back time and time again. Some of them even subscribe to me on Twitch now, which is fantastic. And that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had raids. So I agree with what you're saying there to an extent, but I think the raids on Twitch are really vital, and I think they're a really good. They're the only way on Twitch of really being discovered or growing. I think the analytics thing. I know you look a lot, your analytics a lot, and you know they mean a lot to you. But I couldn't care less what my analytics say. I know how my streams are doing by how my audience is reacting to me and how quick the chat's moving. If the chat's moving too fast, I got a lot of viewers. If it's going slow, I probably don't have a lot of viewers, but I know it'll come back again and it'll level out. So that doesn't bother me. As for self-promoting, I couldn't agree with you less on that one. I think self-promoting is, I hate it. I hate self-promoting channels and Discords. I think they should be banned. I don't think they do any good for anybody other than making the people that put stuff in self-promotion just look desperate. I think if the best, what you were saying there was almost so spot on, apart from putting the links in the self-promotion, is that the networking is what you were talking about, talking to people, getting in communities. That's what's going to get you organic growth. That's what's going to get you people noticing you and getting you out there, getting you recognized, getting you, like you and Groover in the Tech Rock Discord for a while. You were part of that group because you were recognized. It wasn't because you were in the self-promotion channels. It's because you were actively engaging.
Well, it's like me and you. How did our friendship start? Because it was over something in the comment section. Well, I wouldn't say it was a friendship at that point.
Yeah,
but you knew of me when it came to the other SMP that we were going to get part of.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, you can do this. And you're like, no, you can't.
We'd met online briefly through commenting. Yeah. So I was aware of you. It wasn't because you'd ever put anything in the self-promotion channel. I think that's just completely wasted views. I think it is. At the end of the day, YouTube comes down to, if somebody sees your content and enjoys it, then they will stay and they'll come back. If you're trying to force people to it or buy followers or buy subscribers, you're not buying people interested in your content. You're just forcing views to your channel, which are then just going to disappear again and make you feel bad. So yeah, I'm really sorry to say, Hakuzo, but the easiest way, or the best way, I think, of growing your channel is just to get in touch with people, join Discords, get in the communities and talk to people. And I hate doing that. I'm rubbish at it because I'm not a people person. I'm not good at mingling with people like that. Slack's great at it, and he's made a lot of headway doing that with people.
At the same time, it doesn't work for everybody. And I'm going to use this as a classic example here, and I don't want this to sound in the wrong way at all. But me and Jen have done videos together. She hangs out in my community just as much, and her channel growth is just really slow. You know?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the people in your community aren't interested in the content Jen's putting out. That's another thing to say. Just because you both play Minecraft doesn't mean they enjoy her way of making videos. I don't know.
That is a very fair point. That is one of the arguments that I've made forever in regards to another topic that we've brought up many times before, about people putting out tutorials that other people have put out.
Yeah.
There's going to be people who will find my channel through someone else. Like I can go in my Discord right now and ask, and most people found my channel either through your channel or through Silence. And then they stuck into my community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need that gateway connection to other content. And I got really lucky with, I wouldn't say lucky, because the more I think about it, I put in just as much legwork as everybody else. But it was right time, right place, with the right connections to be there when TB started.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? You're in the right place at the right time, and that's not something you can plan for unless you're just really active all the time. But in order to do that, you need to have a lot of time on your hands, and you need to be a good people person. You need to be good at communicating. And you need to have an open mind as well. You've got to really remember that these groups that you're interacting with probably have a lot different opinions to you, share different thoughts. And if you're going into somewhere with a very sort of set mindset on how things should be done and pushing that on people, you're just going to get pushed back out again. So,
you got to be really careful. You got to be really careful. I mean, hey, you can just open. No, you can't. They're all rubbish. You can't do it on Bedrock. First episode of TB. How do we have one player sleep?
Well, says, hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jesse. Listening to last week's pod where you were discussing the ability to increase world build depth and height via new dimensional files, I got the impression that you all don't like the idea of building on top of the nether roof. Can I ask the reasons why you wouldn't like this feature? I see nothing but positives. This is able to be done in vanilla, one step closer to parity. I hope this is a step in the right direction. Cheers, Tra. Slack, why don't you like building on the nether roof?
You literally take all risk out of the game. It's the nether and it's bedrock.
Yeah, but they can do it in Java Edition, so I want it.
Well, just because Java Edition has it doesn't mean that's the law of the land.
And it doesn't mean
there's
it's right.
laws in different countries that are different. Doesn't make them right,
Yeah, I think the issue is that the building on the nether roof, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's great if it's available to be able to do that because you can do something easy and benefit from it. But then, it's not the way Minecraft's intended to be played. The Minecraft isn't, you're not supposed to be able to go through bedrock. You're not supposed to be able to place blocks outside of the world. You're not supposed to be able to build farms away from danger. That's balance of the game is heavily reliant on how the game's put together.
But we can't have fireflies, Foxy, because the realistic that the frogs, it's poisonous to fireflies. But we want to keep realism in the game, but we have bedrock, which is an unbreakable block that we're not supposed to get around. Yet on Java, the golden child, it's perfectly acceptable to get on the roof and build up there.
That's the problem, is people see it being used by the popular YouTubers and they go, they can do that, so I want to be able to do that. And that's all it comes down to. If they weren't doing it, you wouldn't be bothered about it. You wouldn't even think about it. You wouldn't be thinking, I wish I could go on the nether roof and build up there because that'd be loads easy. It wouldn't even enter your mind. You've seen someone else do it and you've gone, that's easy. I want to be able to do that on Bedrock Edition. You don't need to do it. You can build those farms. Well, you can't because they don't work on Bedrock Edition, but you can build similar farms in the nether. Yes, it requires putting in a little bit more effort, but it really is just a little bit more effort and you get the same outcome. So I don't understand this desire to have stuff that's clearly not supposed to be had. And yes, they could take it away from Java Edition, but they won't because it'd be just everyone would moan about it and then they'll feel bad. So it's just one of those things. The grass is always greener on the other side, but if you enjoy your own lawn, it's nice. That made no sense, but you know what I mean.
I literally wanted to say the second part of that quote, but you can't.
Aiden, Slack.
What? Oh, Aiden. Hello, Foxy, Slack, and Jessiie. Aiden here. My question is, what do you think is the fastest way to get to Y250? I am planning to build a sky base and wonder how to get up there really fast. I feel like I've already read this.
Yeah, that feels familiar to me as well. I would say if you're building a sky base, or like you're starting a new world to do it, you wanting to do a skyblock one, then just enable commands, TP yourself up there, place a block up there, TP yourself on top of the block, and then just turn commands off and start. If you're doing it in a world that already exists, just pillar up with dirt. Dirt's probably the quickest way.
Of course, what was the fastest way? Now, are they talking about just the first time, or are they talking about constantly? Like, are you going to be using an elytra? See, we need more details in this question.
I guess. I just assumed it was like they were starting Skyblock and it was just a one-time thing. If it is constantly, then elytra.
Yeah, and if you're not using an elytra, TNT launcher.
Or bubble column.
Yeah, column. Yeah, bubble column would be a nice one, yep. Flying machine would probably be one of the worst ones because it'd be super slow and you'd probably glitch through it.
Did you break all the time? Yeah.
Ladders, you would hate ladders.
Ladders would drive you nuts. Yeah.
I mean, you could make a staircase up to it.
I don't know if you do a TNT launcher up to 250, would you? Would it take you that high? You'd need a lot of TNT.
Have you not? No. Have you've not seen my TNT launcher?
No. Are they broken?
I built an insane one that can get you up to 5,000 blocks in the sky.
Oh, wow. Okay. TNT launch is probably a good idea, but then landings might be tricky. Right.
Well, as long as you land in powdered snow, you take no damage.
Oh, that's a good idea. But then you've got to be accurate where you land in. So I would suggest probably bubble columns or elytra as your safe bet.
Your
TNT
bet,
if you're feeling brave. Jeez. Right. Wiley Livingston says, on the subject of jetpack or levitation, how about catching a shulker missile in a bottle to use as a source potion for levitation? Then you can brew in a phantom membrane and then some redstone or glowstone dust to extend the potion. The potion effect would allow the player to hover and move up and down. The potion could have feather fall in landing when the potion wears off. What do you think? Thanks, Foxy Jessiie for the Foxy Slack and Jessiie for the podcast. I find them interesting and look forward to them. P.S. Why isn't the dark brown bunny ears in any of the skins? I really want to create a coyote with long ears, but the closest I can get is a werewolf. Don't know about that, Wiley, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think to that, Slack? Sounds an interesting potion.
The potion sounds interesting. I'm not opposed to it, but if they wanted you to have a jetpack, they'd give you the jetpack at the same time. They'll give you pipes.
Yeah, the potion thing's kind of vanilla, though, isn't it? If it's a potion, it's not going to last forever. And if you've got to use a phantom membrane, you've got to get phantoms, and that actually gives them some use because no one uses those for repairing elytra because of mending and unbreaking. So I think that's quite a nice idea.
I do too. The more I sit and really think about this, I'm like, We got pretty much every effect in the game we can replicate via potion, I think, except for levitation.
Yeah. I don't know. No, haste you can't, can you? That would be a nice potion.
I would love a haste potion.
Yeah, I'd really like a haste potion. Yeah, can you
Even
add
if
one
it
of those
lasted
as
for
well,
like
please,
30
Wiley?
seconds. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to make that, add us in haste potions too. That sounds good.
Yeah, thanks.
So-
Appreciate it.
All right, so Thrar here. Hi, Foxy, Slack, and Jesse. I thought of a potentially good idea of having an item, let's call it a color, that would give it to an animal that could be enchanted. For example, an axolotl could be given a color with a looting enchantment and be put to work in an ink farm and potentially farm more ink sacks. Or a fox giving one with fortune and used in the sweetberry farm. I'm curious to your thoughts on this and whether or not it would be possible to do. Looking forward to your response. Cheers, Thrar.
I don't think it's possible to do, not with add-ons at least. In terms of a fox being given fortune, if you give a fox a tool or enchanted tool or weapon, and you want it to like cook your chicken, if you give it one with what's it called, fire aspect, is it on a sword? Then it will use that enchantment that way. So that's potentially a way of doing it with foxes anyway. I don't know if looting would work for a sweet berry farm. It may well do, but then I don't think it would harvest the sweet berries if it's got a hoe or a axe or something in its mouth. But I quite like that idea again. Yeah, something like a little enchantment slot you could put on one of your pets in order to give it a bit of a boost. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it'd be like if you could enchant the armor slot on like horse armor and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd like that. I'd like that.
I'm not opposed to that. Yeah.
And I think axolotl, speaking of armor slots, they would benefit from having an armor slot. So, because obviously you're taking those to war. That's the idea of the axolotl, is they're helping you in battle. So if you could put diamond armor on an axolotl, that'd be nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, let him really sit out there and take a damage. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And where's my netherite horse armor, Slack? Where is it?
At the bottom of the lava lake.
Yeah, with my netherite shulker boxes. Jeez. Right, moving on.
Oh, I get to read two back to back. Wow. Oh, that's because you get a book afterwards. Yep, sounds good. Brett here with, hey gang, I have a couple of quick questions. What are some of your favorite sources of inspiration for Minecraft or any other creative endeavors? Outside of Minecraft, are there any other ways you enjoy to express your creativity? Thanks, Brett.
You go.
Any other ways that I enjoy to express my creativity? I've started getting back into doodling again. Little less known fact here. I went to art school and I used to draw all the time. So I've slowly started branching back into that. And as far as inspiration for Minecraft, I take it from pretty much anything. I like the idea of my islands this season were branched off of just a random little part of the Elder Scrolls Online. I seen something and I was like, ooh, I want to do that in Minecraft. Like I just take inspiration from anything I see. Just anything I see and I'm like, oh, that's nice. What if? The problem with the what if is by the time I decide what I want to do with it, the scale of it is so stupidly large that after I'm into the project for about 3 months, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm going to build Skyring in Minecraft this system. No, Slack, you're taking on too much. No, it's all right. I can do it. No, it's fine. I got this, Foxy. And then a couple of months later, I thought maybe we could reset now and I'm bored of
reset?
this.
Yes, I'm on board with this. Yeah.
Jeez.
What about you? Where do you get your creativity from?
I don't know where I get my creativity from, but I often seem to be full of it. So I express my creativity, obviously making Minecraft videos. I make music, I write stuff. I've got so many different ways of doing it. I do photography, I do Photoshop stuff, I make 3D graphics. I was watching tutorials. I haven't downloaded it or anything, but I was watching tutorials on Unreal 5 engine last night because of the crazy stuff you can do in that. I'm thinking, okay, if I could import Minecraft world into Unreal 5 and then I could make a like FoxyNoTail character that can actually run around like a proper character and they could do really cool animatics in that and getting all carried away. And yeah, I don't know where my creativity comes from, but I seem to have a bunch of it. So inspiration wise, I think it just seeps into me from the world around me, I guess, and the things that I do. So I couldn't pinpoint it for you. No, I'm sorry. I'd like to try, but I can't.
Just life.
Indeed. Jixer Moss. I've been calling Gixer for ages, but apparently it's J, like a GIF. Hi, Jesse, Slack, and Foxy. Leading on from the discussion over levitation on the last podcast, my son and I got into this discussion on the way home from school. What if you could catch shulker bullets like you do Dragon's Breath in a bottle and brew a levitation potion? This sounds familiar, Slack. Obviously, tweaks would be needed to make the bullets a little easier to catch, but gives another good reason to head to End Cities. As ever, awesome podcast, Mossy, a.k.a. Gixer Moss with a J.
The more I hear about this, the more I'm sold on this.
I don't know about catching sugar bullets in a sugar bullets in a potion thing like Dragon's Breath. I'm not convinced on that, but I'm thinking, getting something from the end could help. I like the phantom membrane idea, but getting something from the end might be a good thing. Maybe there was something else in the end. Maybe we could get an end update and it gave us something to put levitation in our potions. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I'm liking these ideas.
If when these shulkers in the shulker farm shot each other, they had a random chance of dropping like the shulker bullet?
Oh yeah, as an item. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it was a projectile that you could throw it.
Can I add levitation onto my bow and just shoot you and watch you just fly away?
Levitation arrows. It's the future. That would be amazing. Oh my goodness, that's the best thing ever. Yes. Yes, please.
I love that.
Right, it's you again,
Why
Slack.
am I flying away? Why am I flying away? Foxy! Okay. Next
These ones last 9 minutes.
There's how you get up really quick and then add some punch to it as well.
Yeah, oh jeez.
Hit them while they're floating. Boom. Oh, God. Right.
Man.
Me as John. Discussion question for the podcast. I've been playing for a few months now. My base has multiple farm storage and has suited me well for a while, but it's just starting to feel cramped. When you move to a new area and start bigger versus just when would you move to a new area and start bigger versus just expanding your compound walls and building more? Also asking a...
Oh yeah, don't need to worry about that bit.
General to avoid chatter here. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah. When you feel comfortable with it, I don't really have an answer for that. It's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that strikes me as interesting in this question is that you've built a compound with walls around it, which is obviously going to limit your size for the start. I don't think most players would probably do that, which would lead them to have more room to expand into. But that's also going to depend on the terrain where you live. Are you near an ocean? Are you near a mountain? There's always that time where you think, I wish I had a bit more space in this direction, a bit more space in that direction. And you can either choose to start digging, or you can think, well, that bit over there, the other side of the hill looks quite nice. Maybe I'll move there and maybe I could make a tunnel through to it, or I could make a bridge over the water over to that bit, or maybe I could just move somewhere else and just link it up with nether portals. So you've got options. When would you move to an area versus just expanding? That's just completely up to you. Just totally up to you.
When your frame rate drops to 20 frames.
Yeah, when you've lacked out your area too much, you can't stand it anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
I stands all I can stands, and I can't takes no more. Yep.
Yeah. Right, Slack.
Into your base.
The last question. The last question, and this is the one that might change everything for the Minecraft Update podcast going forward. We will find out. Cinnebold says, hello, Jesse, Foxy, and Slack. I'd support you on Patreon even now without any perks, but is it okay to have the podcast called the Minecraft Update if you want to make money off it in the future? It really struck me when you said you registered the domain name. How do you feel about changing the name before the podcast really takes off? Would you prefer to come up with a new name yourselves, or would you ask the community for suggestions? All the best, Cinnebold. Cinnebold fell into a big hole while I was thinking about these sign-off messages that are a staple on the other Minecraft podcast. You don't have to read this. P.S. All as content creators, you're probably more than aware of Mojang's terms than me. I'll just include the link so you don't have to spend time Googling it. So basically what Cinnebold has pointed out there, quite rightly so, is that Minecraft terms of or commercial guidelines do state that they're not overly happy with people using their name, branding, and logos in commercial things. And that's a good point. Not something that I really considered or thought about when we came up with the name for this, because I just thought, well, it's the Minecraft Update podcast. I guess that's descriptive that it's a podcast about Minecraft updates, or, you know, but I guess it could be considered, especially since we've got the Minecraft dirt block and the Minecraft logo within our logo, that some people might consider this is an official Minecraft podcast. And I did have a very quick flick through the terms and commercial guidelines on this, and there are some things where I think, well, maybe we're falling foul of that a little bit, but on the other hand, I don't think we 100% are. So basically, one of them is that they say if it's for personal stuff or you're not making money out of it, then they don't really care too much. But if it's commercial and you're planning on selling stuff, then they don't mind as long as you follow a set of rules. And one of the rules is that Minecraft can't be the first word, which technically it's not, because we've got the.
Suddenly the argument for the is suddenly a lot different, right?
Yeah. But then they say, but Minecraft can't be like the main word, the overwhelming word for it. So you've got like the Minecraft update. Yeah, Minecraft is the key word there. But this is the Minecraft Update podcast. So again, I think we're describing what it is in relation to Minecraft rather than trying to suggest this is Minecraft's official stuff. But it is something to take heed of, and it is something to look into in more details. And I think the easiest solution is to not worry too much about the domain name and the Discord, and just suggest, like, as a footnote and on the logo, perhaps, that this is the unofficial Minecraft podcast. So maybe we should announce that at the beginning of the podcast, the unofficial Minecraft podcast. Maybe we should have that as a tagline on the YouTube videos and things like that. And looking at this and thinking about it, you could argue that quite a lot of things fall foul of this. So, and I didn't want to call anyone out here in particular, but the first thing that struck to my mind was the Minecraft Survival Guide, which isn't it's Minecraft Survival Guide by Pixel Riffs, a popular YouTube content creator, obviously monetizing his videos, makes a living from making those videos. You could argue that that looks like it's an official Minecraft thing. It's not, but you could argue it is. But Mojang haven't actually been that bothered about it. In fact, they've even taken part in his podcast and promoted him and got him to do things like the NVIDIA RTX stuff. So you could argue that actually Minecraft are quite happy about that, probably because it works in a way that promotes Minecraft and brings more people to the game, and improves sales, I guess. And I would argue that the Minecraft Update podcast also, most of the time, sheds Minecraft in a good light, and we, maybe help bring people to get the game. Sure, we complain about the odd thing, and we moan about bugs, and we say that the changelogs could be better, but I don't think we're actively telling anybody that Mojang's bad or Minecraft bad or anything like that and trying to take your money from them. So I don't think, or at least I would hope, that Mojang employees or the corporation or Microsoft wouldn't take offense to us being called the Minecraft Update podcast, because it feels like a separate entity from that. But in order to toe the line and make sure that we're not breaking any rules, I think it probably is a good idea just to make sure that we are very, very transparent on saying this is an unofficial Minecraft podcast. We are not affiliated with Mojang, although I'm a Minecraft marketplace partner, so technically I am. But the podcast is not affiliated with or endorsed by Mojang, and it would be really easy for us to just put that as a little footnote on things and maybe just stick a unofficial sticker on the logo. What do you think, Slack?
I was just sitting here looking at the name, and I was trying to think of alternatives. The Minecraft News Update, Minecraft News Podcast.
You just have to take Minecraft out of it. It's not the update, it's the Minecraft is the problem. We would have to call it the MC Update Podcast, which I'm not doing.
The Pocket Edition. No. But even changing it to the unofficial Minecraft Update, it's still, I'm sorry, Minecraft is still the main title.
It is, but that's what they stipulated in their terms and conditions. Is the reasoning they don't like it is if we're trying to put ourselves out as this is an official thing. If they state quite clearly, if it is obvious that it is an unofficial thing, or you're not trying to come across as an official part of Mojang or Minecraft, then they don't care. They're happy. So
okay, yeah, well, then
that solves the problem.
The unofficial Minecraft Update. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cinnabol, for pointing that out. I'm glad you did, because it genuinely is something I haven't really thought about too much. But at this moment in time, unless Mojang did get in touch and say, hey, what do you think you're doing? I don't think there's any need to be changing domain names or the name of the podcast. We'll just put the little word unofficial here and there and make sure people know that this isn't an official Minecraft podcast.
You want the domain, you can buy it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
We'll sell it to you.
So, yeah, I think we're good. I think it's fine. Personally, I don't think we'll have any issues. Any more thoughts on that, Slack?
No. That covers it for me.
Good. Well, in that case, if you've got a question you want to ask, obviously, then make sure to email us at themindcraftupdate.com. Put question in your subject line. And if you've got any feedback, or if you know stuff about legal stuff and you want to get in touch and give us a hand on this sort of stuff and enlighten us anymore, then make sure to leave some feedback for us to read out next week. Or if it's private and you just want to send us an email, you can email that email address. We'll read it. We don't necessarily need to read it out on the podcast. Moving on from there, it is time for us to talk about what we're going to be doing next week. Slack, what are you going to be doing?
Continuing to put out Minecraft content. I think I'm going to start, I wouldn't say embracing the YouTube streams, but then again, I guess that is kind of the thing. I've decided I'm at least going to do one. I'm thinking 2 streams a week on YouTube to see how that goes. It's a game of watch and see how it goes, see how it affects the channel. And I'm going to continue to hammer out normal videos, except we're not doing videos on Tuesdays right now. We're just doing them on Fridays. And Twitch streams just as normal.
Yeah. For me, things are changing drastically over at FoxyNoTail.com. No, not at the website, but for me, I am moving things about quite significantly in order to embrace YouTube streaming and fit the podcast in better and all the other things I have to do with my life. So at the moment, my schedule is written, although this isn't a guarantee. This is kind of like Minecraft concept art. This is the idea, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. Monday AMs are going to be YouTube Truly Bedrock streams. Tuesday AMs, I'm going to be working on Truly Bedrock videos or other videos, depending on what's going on that week. Tuesday PM will be Twitch streams, potentially Truly Bedrock, or might be another game. Wednesday AMs are going to be Twitch streams again, so like one after the other, but with a little break in between where I have a nice sleep. Wednesday PMs are going to be YouTube Truly Bedrock streams. Thursdays, I'm going to be working on beta videos, assuming that a snapshot comes out on the Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to be recording the podcast with Slack and hopefully Jessiie as well. And then Friday, I'm going to be editing the podcast. And then if I don't have my kids, I'll be doing a Twitch stream on the evening. If not, I will be with my kids. So there we go. It's a complete mess, but hopefully I'll make something out of it. That's my plan. It involves 2 YouTube streams per week and potentially, if you're very lucky, 3 Twitch streams and a couple of videos as well. And on that note, Slack, unfortunately, it's time to go. Before I crash again and lose it all.
Let's not lose the podcast. Yeah, that was gut wrenching. Oh, that hurt. I still feel a pain in my stomach over that.
I was so sad. And it was one of those, like, we could start again. We were only technically an hour and a half in, but after you've answered all that feedback and done all that, and it's natural to do it again, would just feel false, wouldn't it? So it was one of those.
It's not like a Minecraft video where you mess up and have all the blocks in your inventory for something that you were trying to say you didn't build, and we had to re-record all that. That actually worked. For this is more scripted than that. You know what I mean? And it's like, we just talked about all that, but we can't do it again.
Yeah, exactly. I think we said that, potentially if we wouldn't have just started again, I don't think, but we did say, hey, Jessiie might be around in the morning. Maybe we could record it in the morning instead.
Yeah, have an extra person.
Yeah, and then we'd just bounce off it more, wouldn't we? Because it'd be another person, it'd be another person's feedback to put into it all. It would have felt different, and I think that would have been okay. But just starting again straight after that, I would have just. I don't think I could have. I'd have been in such a bad mood. Jeez. Anyway, It's time to go, Slack. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Bye. Unofficial goodbye.
Unofficially goodbye.
But don't tell your friends it's official because it's not. It's unofficial. Just saying.
Unofficial podcast.
Yeah.
Unofficial FoxyNoTail, SlackLizard, Jessiie B, Minecraft update. Oh, well, I'm not talking to myself. I'm still recording. Just saying.